Your GPS can be switched off by a stranger. Worse, some receivers can be made to lie, and keep lying for hours after the interference is gone. That's not paranoia. It's a real documented vulnerability with a name: GNSS interference. 2 different attacks, 2 completely different effects, and by the end of this, you'll know how the 2 attacks differ, and why the fix usually isn't as simple as buy a better receiver. Here's why this is even possible. The signal your phone or car uses to know exactly where it is on Earth travels tens of thousands of kilometers from a satellite, and by the time it reaches the ground, it's extremely weak. That weakness is the whole vulnerability, a signal that faint is more easily overwhelmed by stronger interference, or mimicked by a convincing false signal. The first attack is jamming, and it's the blunt one. A jamming signal doesn't pretend to be GPS at all. It just overpowers or blocks the authentic signals your receiver is trying to use. When it succeeds, the result isn't a wrong location, it's no location. GPS doesn't malfunction, it disappears mid-navigation. Spoofing is the one that should actually worry you. Instead of drowning out GPS, a spoofing signal impersonates it, broadcasting fake satellite data that can look completely legitimate. If that fake signal is stronger than the real one nearby, a receiver may accept it as genuine. Remember that distinction. Jamming makes GPS disappear. Spoofing makes it lie. Here's the part that makes it worse. Jamming and spoofing aren't rival techniques. They're often found together. When the real signal has already been drowned out, a nearby fake signal has nothing left to compete against, and a receiver may end up trusting it instead. By the time anyone notices something's wrong, that trust is already misplaced. You'd think there's a built-in check for this, and in aviation there is. It's called RAIM, and aircraft use it to catch a satellite quietly feeding bad data. But RAIM alone was never designed to catch a deliberate liar. It has no way to tell a real signal from a convincing fake, because that was never the job it was built for. And here's the detail almost nobody knows. The lie doesn't end when you leave the interference. The spoofed receiver can keep reporting a false position for hours afterward, even back in an area with a perfectly clean, authentic signal, because corrupted receiver or system state can persist after the authentic signal returns. Some receivers may require a ground or factory reset before they'll trust the truth again. This isn't confined to aircraft either. Commercial truckers and taxi drivers already use GPS interference deliberately to jam or spoof their own tracked locations. The same technique is used to keep unauthorized drones away from major events. By the airline industry's own count, GPS signal loss ran at 50.8 events per 1,000 flights in the first half of 2024 versus 30.8 across all of 2023, an increase of about 65%, though that's comparing a half year to a full year. Not a clean apples to apples rate. And it's already hit U.S. infrastructure directly. An unauthorized transmitter near Denver International interfered with civil flights, air traffic control, and nearby road and rail systems in 2022. That same year, a separate incident near Dallas disrupted air travel and forced rerouting. To be fair, not every GPS hiccup is an attack. Solar activity and ionospheric weather can degrade these signals naturally, with nobody involved at all. A faulty repeater, faulty commercial equipment, or inadvertent re-radiation can cause interference completely by accident, and some interference is intentional but authorized. The government runs scheduled GPS tests, geographically limited, coordinated in advance, and publicly posted through official aviation notices ahead of time. Don't assume every dropped signal is an attacker. Sometimes it's just Tuesday. One dated call, since apparently that's my job now. The airline industry's own recorded GPS loss rate has climbed every measured period from 2021 through mid-2024, not leveled off. By 2028, expect backup navigation that doesn't depend on satellites at all to move from a nice-to-have to a standard design expectation on new commercial aircraft. Screenshot this. Blame the cat, not the spectrum. So, jamming or spoofing. Now you actually know the difference and why just get a better GPS isn't a simple fix for either one. If you want more of the spectrum truth nobody explains, there's a link below, and I'll be in the CRT.